So the next topic is the social, ethical, and legal responsibilities in the use of technology tools and resources by teachers. Many laws and federal regulations apply to youth and online social technology. So, as a youth, we should learn or know our rights and responsibilities, and the relevant laws and what teachers and librarians need to know in order to implement in the school. So let us explore more about the approaches to teaching students about their role as responsible digital citizens. So the research, as I was researching, there are more than three quarters of young people aged 13 to 24 indicated having used a social network in the past week. So um, there are many young people um, having um, engaged in social networks since 2009. So 60% had sent or received messages on MySpace, Facebook, or other social networks. Or it is this research is also since 2009. So what are the rights and um, responsibility? So rather than taking a culture of fear, we need to help young people make good choices. So let us um, guide them to make good choices, whether that choice is good or bad, as long as they are responsible in every choices that they make. So, First Amendment right to access information and interact online. So, American Library Association minors and internet interactivity. This law is the rights of minors to retrieve, interact with, and create information posted on the internet in schools and libraries are extensions of their First Amendment rights. So, social technology, the rights and responsibilities. Rights and responsibility, rather than taking a culture of fear, we need to help young people make good choices. As I've said earlier, we need to help people or young or teens like me to make good choices, and even if that choices is good or bad, as long as they are ready, or as long as they are um prepared for all the consequences. So First Amendment right to access information and interact online. American Library Association minors. It is these rights of minors to retrieve, interact with, and create information posted on the internet in schools and libraries are extensions of First Amendment. So, um, this rights is saying that we the rights of minors to retrieve, interact with, and create information posted on the internet in schools and libraries. So, minors, the internet, and the law. So, when designing programs for young people, educators must adhere to the laws and regulations associated with internet minors. So, there are acts or there are acts and laws um, that is presented here. So first act is the Child Pornography Prevention Acts. So um, the CPPA. This 1996 law prohibits types of digital pornography. In 2002, non-obscene images of teens is permitted. So I know some of you are um, is aware of this law stating that it is prohibiting any types of digital pornography since 2002, or any obscene images of teens is permitted. So next act is the Children's Online Protection Act, or the COPA. This 1998 law prohibits materials deemed harmful to minors, restricts children under 13 from having a social network accounts without parental consent. This element was ruled unconstitutional. Individual sites may take this requirement, but it's not a law. So this act, it means that any 13 any children under 13 from having social network accounts without parental consent, the children must have consult to his or her parents before having a social network accounts. So next up is Children's Internet Protection Act, or the CIPA. This 2000 law states that schools with computer must have technology protection measures, or the filters, in place for minor students to retrieve discounted services. So this act is also is for schools. So stating that the schools must have schools with computer must have protection measures for it, like the filters. Next act is the Broadband Data Improvement Act, or the BDIA. The, the 2008 states that those receiving federal funds must be educating minors about appropriate online behavior. So this act is wants us to um, it is all about receiving funds or federal funds about the minors who use social, or minors about appropriate online behavior. It is the right behavior in receiving federal funds. So the terms next up is the terms of service contracts, or the TOS. I hope some of you is aware of this, that it says here that contracts aren't laws but policies of individual websites. Encourages teens to read it. Google states that you may not use the service if you are not of legal age to form a binding contract, violation which is unclear. So if you can see there, example, it means that um, it is for but policies, individual websites, or it encourages teens to read it. Or if you are not of legal age to form a binding contract, which is unclear, then you have a violation, generally means termination of use. So what are the intellectual freedom? So it means that it includes the rights of students to seek and use information from all points of view and express ideas and information without undue restriction. It is our freedom to um, express our ideas or share information without any restrictions. The First Amendment is the students must have um, First Amendment rights. So the CIPA and filtering filters should not inhibit access to information and ideas. If they do, they should be retrieved. Example is the National Cancer Institute, or Institute Breast Cancer. You may visit that. Next is the social and networks and activism. From joining Facebook causes to endorsing political candidates, social networks serves as an important platform for free speech. More than half of teens have joined an online cause. So, as you can see, there are in Facebook um, there are many ads, or the political ad advertisements that was posted by political candidates or the social networks. For example, is the National Wildlife Federation, or you can see their links into Facebook. Links to Facebook says that National Wildlife Federation. This ad is encourage students to evaluate causes and determine their authenticity. Next is the free speech cases. Most courts have upheld the right of teens to speak free online. However, nearly half of young people haven't thought about the risk of getting into trouble of school or something said online. So, free speech cases. There are many cases like this, that the right of teens to speak freely online, that they usually posted or speak that is untrue, or that hurt someone. However, for example, is commenting on the school policy related to body piercing. So you have freedom to speak, but you should know your limitations. You should know your rights, or what rights you need to do, or the good way in commenting. Harassment or hate speech and cyberbullying. More than half of teens used a social network to complain or make fun of a teacher, and 39% later regretted it. 37% have made fun of other students. Harassment includes a wide range of offensive behaviors that upset, disturb, or threaten. Cyberbullying is a particular type of digital harassment. So, cyberbullying, I know some of you are familiar of this is some or the harassment or hate speech. They are, for example, is someone is posted or bully someone online, or um posted comments or words that hurt someone, or the harassment and CPC, stop bullying, cyberbullying US. You can see these slogans or ads online saying stop bullying or cyberbullying US. Because some many students, not only here in the Philippines but in other countries, are being bullied online. Free speech and personal responsibilities. There is a fine line between defamation laws and the rights to free speech. Free speech doesn't allow teens to make false statements about a principal or share altered images of ex-friends. Teens need to be aware of that colleges and employers cybervet. In other words, they check out what people have been doing online. The free speech or the free speech and personal responsibility is, it means that free speech doesn't allow teens to make false statements about any any person, or he or she is not allowed to alter images of friends or ex-friends or a person. Online bias and hate crimes. Young people may become involved with bias-motivated online activities. The Matthew Shepard Act 2009 adds gender, social orientation, and disabilities to the federal definition of hate crime. There are felonies. Online bias or or these are bias motivated online activities or hate crimes. Hate crimes. Honesty and the law. Young people are legally responsible for their words and actions. It's easy to hide behind pseudonyms or deceptive activities can lead to serious consequences. So 26% of teens have pretended to be someone else online, 18% have pretended to be an adult, and the 16% have posted false information about others. So you can um, I experienced this, or I seen this many times in online online when I am browsing on the internet. I saw um some things, or I saw crimes that many teens pretended to be someone or pretended to be an adult. So what are these? So first is dishonesty. Many preteens lie about their age to avoid age restrictions at websites like Facebook. 56% of teens have posted fake information on their profile. Since this Facebook requires you to age at least 18 or 18 before you 18. So um, but many still is having an account if they are not that age. Libel or written or otherwise published statements that unjustly convey unfavorable impressions about someone is considered libel. Many teens libel it is these are comments or published statements that convey unfavorable impressions about someone. Many teens experience libelous behavior. A quarter of teens found something online about themselves that wasn't true. Defamation is illegal. Examples is I before we go to the example is that this libel means defamation. Defamation, since defamation is illegal, um some things many things is still um, publishing comments or publishing statements that is not true about someone. Example is alleging someone has a disease, accusing someone of a crime, imputing sexual misconduct, um, accusing accusing someone of a crime that he or she has not did not do. Fraud and identity theft. Identity theft is pretending to be someone else for personal gain. So, identity theft is fake. It is pretending to be someone else. The Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986 can be applied. Um, 6% of young people have experienced someone impersonating them, and 88 graders was so many young people have experienced someone impersonating them. Mostly these are mostly these are seen in Facebook. You think example is you there's someone add a friend send you a friend request, but as you browse on his or her photo, the images that do not show her real self because it is not compatible. An 18 example Another example is an eighth grader was suspended for creating a fake profile of the principal. So you are capable of creating profile, but you should limit yourself. Reporting illegal activity. 96% of young people would report illegal activity. Honesty and school computing. It's possible a teacher, tech coordinator, or librarian could be subpoenaed to testify about a student's computer use. This is for computers. Schools have computers that if next is the intellectual property and the copyright law. Young people need to understand copyright law because the first um, the first law is the intellectual property and use of ownership. Half of teens have posted their original work online. Terms of use agreements take ownership of their publish at their website. So next is the copyright law or intended to protect developers. Teens should get credit for the work they do and give credits for the work of others. Copyright, you can these are seen in online. These are seen many times. So for example, is the deviant art is a popular with teens such as hell proper. Next is the copyleft approach, or the copyleft involved removals of restrictions related to distribution of materials, go to Creative Commons and general public license. To learn more. Last is the teens' derivative works and social networks. Young people need to be aware of their rights in terms of sharing, citing, and remixing. So you can see this mostly in YouTube. So So that's it.